bells here. You don't want to read the written proclamation? You don't want to? Oh, thank you, Dwayne. You're so sweet. Are we ready? Okay. Good afternoon. I'll call this meeting to order. I'm so glad to see everybody here with us today. Thank you for being here. Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Present.
Ms. Quetch. Here. Vice Mayor Anderson.
Here.
Mayor Pillion.
Here, and I'd like to note for the record that Mr. Webb had a death in the family and wasn't able to be here today. Okay, now we will have Vice Mayor Anderson lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we need to approve the agenda, but first, we'd like to add a closed session under item Q, closed session to consider applications for appointments to the Infrastructure Advisory Committee pursuant to the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended, section 2.2-3711A1. So I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda with an addition of a closed session.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Austin, second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Do we have any discussion? If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch. Aye. Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Next, we have public comments, and we do have someone signed up for public comment. Reminder to state your name and your address and that you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pillion, board members and staff. When I came last time, we were talking about the flooding down on Preston and Hagee Street. And at the time, and still am, to me, I'm probably more concerned about the people that live there. But really what you ought to look at is where the Hagee's garage used to be, and it's an auto repair shop now. And I'll leave you some more pictures, but this shows the water standing in front of the shop, and this shows behind it where it's a big puddle. Now, on this water, now I don't know when exactly Hills was in, but here's 1995. You can see the garage, and you can see that broken vehicles or wrecked vehicles are behind it. 2006, you see more wrecked vehicles. 2015, still more vehicles, and actually something's running out of the garage. Now, when we get to talking about what it might be, okay, when you look at what comes out of a car, you've got gas, oil, brake fluid, transmission fluid, differential fluid, battery fluid. There's all kinds of stuff. And then when you get into we're going to electric cars. When you get to electric cars, you come into phosphorus, boron, lithium, manganese, aluminum, copper, polypropylene, and polyvinyl fluorides. So these are things that probably shouldn't be in the environment. Now, all this stuff flows down, and it goes into the little ditch that runs down through there. And that ditch goes into Wolf Creek. And if you want to see how it goes, here it goes, and it comes right in there behind where Lights Mill used to be. I think that y'all like Wolf Creek because you put it on your website, telling about the great things that Wolf Creek does, about the fish and all. But a quarter of a mile from where this is, you've got this creek that runs in that has no idea what kind of contaminants are in the water. And I'd just like to point that out, and maybe we'll talk a little bit later about some solutions to it. Thank you all so much, and you all have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have 3 proclamations this afternoon. The first one is, I think Mr. Austin is going to read it, and it is the proclamation recognizing November 2023 as Veteran and Military Families Month.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Whereas the United States is a beacon of hope, freedom, and opportunity to people around the world, and whereas November was first declared as Military Family Month in 1996 to acknowledge the tremendous sacrifices our military families make, and whereas our service members do not serve alone, alongside them are the dedicated members who embody strength, resilience, and courage, and whereas care of military families and children sustains our fighting force and strengthens the health, the security, and the safety of our families and communities, and whereas our brave servicemen and women, their families, and their loved ones have made great sacrifices to protect the freedoms we enjoy, and whereas these service members and veterans are true leaders in our communities and are integral to the success, the advancement, and prosperity of our town and community, and whereas we recognize our military families' integral role in supporting our service members and contributing to their mission. While our men and women are serving at home and overseas, we must provide their families with the resources they need to thrive in our community. And whereas this month we recognize our local service members and veterans and remember with deep gratitude those who have given their lives in defense of our freedom. And therefore, the town's Veterans Advisory Board requested community members wear a red poppy beginning November 1st, 2023 through Veterans Day, November 11th, for remembrance and sacrifices made. And now, therefore, Amanda Pillion, Mayor of the Town of Abingdon, proclaims November 2023 as Veteran and Military Families Month in the Town of Abingdon and commend its observance to all citizens.
Thank you. And we have some members of the Veterans Advisory Commission here today, and I think you've given us all red poppies. And where can people find these if they?
They'll be at the visitor center.
Awesome. So if you would like a red poppy, Visitor Center, go pick them up.
Thank you.
Yeah, must be from the Army of One. Yeah.
Dad, they're all at lunch.
Now Ms. Quetch is going to read the proclamation supporting October as National Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes. Whereas, unfortunately, breast cancer touches nearly every family in Virginia, including residents of our town, and whereas approximately every 2 minutes, one case of breast cancer is diagnosed in the United States, and whereas in Virginia, 7,810 women and 2,800 men in the United States will be not diagnosed with breast cancer this year. And whereas nearly 44,000 women and men are expected to die from breast cancer in the United States. And whereas 1 in 8, 12% will develop breast cancer in her lifetime, with the most diagnosed among middle-aged and older, but 54% being diagnosed in women younger than 65. And whereas improvements in early detection and treatment contributed to a 43% decline in breast cancer death rate in the United States between 1989 and 2020, and whereas there are more than 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, and whereas an annual pink 13.1 bike run walk on the Virginia Creeper Trail, where 100% of funds raised remain in Virginia, is scheduled for Saturday, October the 21st, has already raised over $66,700 to fund screening and diagnostic breast health services for uninsured and underinsured in Southwest Virginia, and individualized resource coordination and free breast health educational materials, and newly diagnosed caregiver and survivorship packets, and advocacy for improved health, public policy, and research dollars for the state. Whereas celebrating the lives saved and remembering those we have lost, let the month of October be a moment of unity that rallies the town and Washington County residents to end breast cancer and join in activities to increase awareness of steps to prevent and control breast cancer. And now therefore, being it resolved, the council acknowledged the importance of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the town of Abingdon.
Do we have anybody here to represent this group? No, okay, I'll make sure it gets in the hands that it needs to go. Oh,
I'd like to say that we have been sponsored for that group while they're here on the 21st. They'll be registering at the Visitor Center on Friday afternoon from 5 to 7. They have 85 participants, and the funds raised is now up to about $90,000.
wow,
So they were very excited to be in Abingdon this weekend.
thank you. Thank you. Okay, and we have a third proclamation, which I'm going to read, proclaiming support of Red Ribbon Week with the theme, Be Kind to Your Mind. Whereas alcohol and drug abuse affects individuals, families, and communities across the nation, and whereas it is imperative that visible, unified efforts by community leaders and its residents be launched to prevent drug abuse, and whereas Red Ribbon Week will be celebrated in communities across the nation the week of October 23rd to 31st, and whereas the 2023 National Red Ribbon theme is Be Kind to Your Mind, Live Drug-Free, to remind us that all Americans make significant daily contributions to their communities by being the best they can be because they live drug-free. And whereas the council and staff strive to demonstrate their commitment to healthy, drug-free lifestyles by wearing red ribbons and participating in drug prevention activities, and whereas the council further commits their town and resources to ensure the success of Red Ribbon Week. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Amanda Pillion, Mayor of the Town of Abingdon, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through 31st as Red Ribbon Week, and encourage you to participate in drug prevention education activities, not only during Red Ribbon Week, but also throughout the year, making a visible statement that we are strongly committed to a drug-free lifestyle. And do we have a representative here?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Since you arranged it, I'll let you take care of it since you arranged it. I'll let Dwayne get his picture made since he set all this up. Thank you all for coming. Okay, we do not have any public hearings. We do not have resolutions or a first or second reading of ordinances on the agenda today. But we do have a consideration of a bid. I'm going to have our Director of Public Works, Michael Surratt, come forward to talk about the consideration of bids for emergency sewer repair services to the 900 block of West Main Street.
Madam Mayor, council members, thank you. I have Matt Lane with me, who is our consulting town engineer. So kind of to lay out the situation to the council is, we had an issue on West Main Street down near True Point Bank, Polished Diamond, with a 10-inch sewer main. It was brought to our attention by the Sewer Collections Department, and we consulted with the town engineer on how to move forward with this. So what we have is a collapsed line, which we cannot go in there and repair. It's very deep. So we decided that we were going to have to do an emergency repair on this. So we did an expedited procurement through an ITB, through several contractors. We put it out to 4 of them. We actually got 3 bids in. I understand it wasn't in your packet because we had to open the bids this morning at 10 o'clock, and the Lane Group conducted the bid tabulation for us to reconcile the bids. So the low bid was from Little B Enterprises out of Castlewood for $89,883.15. The recommendation from our town engineer and the public works staff is that we accept Little B's bid to do this repair so we can get it done pretty quickly and get the road put back in operation, because it is a pretty bad situation. I mean, I won't bore you on with the pictures of it, but it is collapsed and nobody really likes looking in those pipes, except maybe me and Matt. So, but yeah, I mean, it is very bad. All the bids are very close, and I think our recommendation is to accept it.
Have we used this group before?
Yes, Little B's
Okay.
done construction. They've done
Okay.
plenty of construction in town. As a matter of fact, I think they did work on a portion of the sewer relocation for Green Springs Road when they were doing that relocation of that roadway.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, I mean, we're open to questions if you.
I was just curious, I was looking at the various bids here, and it appears that the greatest difference in the actual cost deals with bypass pumping.
Yes.
Why would that be? If you know.
I mean,
You
I
know.
guess they kind of, like me and Matt talk about, sometimes they just kind of pull it out of what they've done previously. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to bypass from Colonial Road around the 2 features that they're going to have to replace, the 2 manholes and the pipe, so they can dig it up and replace it. I mean, I can't really tell you how they come to
Sure.
those numbers, but they do, kind of pull it off of what they've done previously in other projects, is kind of how some of them get to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I will entertain a motion to accept this bid and move forward on this emergency repair.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Ms. Quetch, seconded by Vice Mayor Anderson. Is there any discussion? If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson.
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion.
Aye. Thank you for taking care of this so quickly.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, and now we have some new business. We have Mr. David McLeish here from the Abingdon Farmers Market to give us their annual update.
Hi, thank you. Dave McLeish, I'm manager of the Abingdon Farmers Market. I believe you all have a handout in your packet. Just wanted to give you an update on how the summer has gone and the market's still going strong. We run a Eat Smart, Move More Kids program on Tuesdays. The kids come and learn a little something about healthy eating, get $10 in fresh market bucks to spend at the market. You can see on here that in 2020 we had 45 kids participate. This year we had 520.
Wow.
So it's a big grow. Next year we're hoping to add it, make it go from 5 weeks to 10 weeks. We're putting for funding for $10,000 to try and cover the whole time. It's with the program. It's kind of neat to see the kids come up and go and buy mushrooms or okra or things you wouldn't normally see them buy. And parents make the same comment, that they wouldn't eat that if I bought it. The next thing we've been doing is the EBT matching program. So when they come and run their EBT or PEBT card, pandemic EBT card with us, we upped our match from $25 to $50 in June. So they come and they use $50 on their card, they end up with $100 in tokens to use at the market. 50 are good for anything they can buy with their card. The other 50 are good for fresh fruits and vegetables. So it's promoting healthy eating. It's a grant we have through a company called LEAP. So far we've matched a little over $9,000 this year. I have a $12,000 budget for this year to cover me through December. I'll put in for $15,000 for next year from them. And I spoke with the gentleman this morning, he didn't see a problem with that coming through, so some more help for help with food insecurity in the area. And we currently have 88 vendors signed up for the 2023 season. That runs through the end of March. And we wish to thank the town for its continued support. And it's a pleasure to have such a great working relationship that benefits the town, our vendors, and the local merchants with all the people we bring into town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, I moved everything around. I lost my agenda. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we are. Sorry, right there. All these papers, I lost my agenda. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda, we have no old business. We do have some communications from the town manager, and I think we're going to start with an update from Steve Trotman, who's our Director of Finance, to discuss our Brown Edwards audit.
Madam Mayor, council members, yes, as an update, when we first engaged with Brown Edwards, who are independent auditors, at the time, we didn't feel as though we were going to need a federal single audit. The threshold for a single audit is at $750,000. In this last fiscal year, we only spent about $664,000 of our ARPA money, which is completely federal. But as we were closing out the year, and we have other small grants that are federally funded, that total carried us over the 750. So we had to restate our engagement letter with Brown Edwards to incorporate a single audit in addition to their regular independent audit of our books, of our VRS and OPEB. So they did disseminate the updated engagement letter, and in your packet there's also a letter of communication to those charged with governance. This stipulates what their responsibilities are as the auditor, what our responsibilities are as being able to provide them with the necessary information to perform the audit under GASB regulations. And it also asks a series of questions for you to consider with respect to any concerns or questions that you may have regarding fraud, malfeasance, misappropriation, or anything like that. And there's contact information for the two lead partners with Brown Edwards for you to reach out to and voice any concerns or questions that you may have. I will say that the updated engagement letter, which includes the single audit, did raise their fee by $4,000 to incorporate that. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does anyone have any questions? So what we need is to entertain a motion to authorize the town manager to sign the engagement letter with Brown Edwards as presented.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Austin, a second by Ms. Quetch. Do we have any discussion? If we have no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion?
Aye. Okay, and now we have a tourism update. We have Tanya Triplett, who's our Director of Tourism and Economic Development, and Chad Thompson, who's our Marketing Coordinator, and they're here to give us a little update.
We just wanted to inform you on some projects we've been working on and let you know what we've been doing for the last couple of months. So we worked with a local artist, Richard Graves, who painted the Virginia Creeper Trail Archway.
Thank you.
And we bought the rights to this print from Mr. Graves, which allowed us to
Thank you.
produce stickers. And we have 800 T-shirts ordered that will have this on the back of it. So very soon, we'll be letting you all know that we have some new T-shirts with this new design on it. Last month, we took over the Bristol Welcome Center, and we invited Emory and Henry College to partner with us on that and gave them a space on our table. And we decorated the Welcome Center with all things Abingdon and let people know all the things that they could do while they were visiting Rhythm and Roots and the Bristol Race. So we felt like September was a pretty good return on investment for our money spent there. I spent 6 days in Raleigh, North Carolina, representing Abingdon at the International Bluegrass Music Awards. There were 14 localities from Southwest Virginia. The Virginia Tourism Corporation paid for the booths. We had a stage in the middle of all of our booths, and we put music on that stage during the entire convention. So it was a pretty festive time for about 4 days representing Abingdon there. A lot of fun. We got feedback instantly last year from that show. We had about 8 couples who were either at the visitor center saying they had met me at the show or they had signed our register and said that they'd learned about Abingdon and IBMA. So it's a great return there as well. We co-opt with the towns of Abingdon and the city of Bristol because we were all nominated as the top tiny, small, and medium towns in Blue Ridge Outdoors. And we've co-opted with them on advertising in that as well. So there'll be a 2-page spread in their November issue announcing the winners of that contest, and then our 2-page ad will be there. Chad attended a Blue Ridge Travel Association meeting. We're a member of that. It's a regional regional marketing co-op. And we have folks from Smith County, Wythe County, Bland, Tazewell in that group, and they meet every quarter. So Chad attended that meeting. We have been to Emory and Henry twice over the last little bit. One time we were there for parent open house, and we had a table and gave out information about Abingdon, and Chad made a wonderful video that ran on a loop as new parents were coming in to visit the college. We attended a career fair there just this week, which was great. We had about 8 or 10 students sign up for possible internships to help us out with some of the projects that we're working on, so we're real excited about that. And then we have a staff member who will be there this Saturday for another parent open house. Over the last little bit, we've applied for several Virginia tourism grants. So we applied for a $20,000 grant. It's a 50-50 match to get new photos and videos for the town of Abingdon. The last time we had that done was 2013. So we have seen lots of changeovers, lots of new businesses opening. So many of those photos are out of date. And we have a company from Johnson City called Creative Energy who will be in town for 2 days next week. So they've already reached out to some of our partners and have scheduled photo shoots and video shoots at that time. We have a really nice outdoor guide that states that Abingdon is the base camp for all of this outdoor adventure. So we're encouraging people to come here and stay here and eat here, but go out into all of these areas and go on hikes and go biking in different areas. And that is out of date, and we're actually out of those, and we didn't reprint those immediately because we wanted to wait on some of this new photography. So that was a $15,000 grant, 50-50, and we'll have a graphic designer redesign that. We have 2 additions to that brochure, and then we'll get some of those printed. That also included a redesign of the tear-off map shopping and dining map that has all of our shopping opportunities and dining opportunities. And we use that to tear off and write on it and give suggestions to people, and then they can take that with them. So redesign on it. It is a piece that's not that expensive to print, but we can update it often, 2 or 3 times a year, and get it reprinted, so we can keep that up to date most of the time. We got a $10,000 grant for special events in the off-season, so we're working with some partners on that to hopefully make sure that we have some music events in Abingdon over the winter. And we applied for some software. It's not a money match, but it's a co-op that Virginia Tourism is offering for us to be able to get a more detailed visitor profile for our area, so that we will know exactly why people are coming here, what they're doing while they're here, so that we know exactly how to market to those people and how many of them are staying in hotels if they're here to visit friends and family. So it'll give us detailed and help us to really target our market, our marketing. First Virginia First is a regional fishing co-op that we're a part of, so they've written a grant to get some brochures updated for that, and then we partnered with Smith, Grayson, Damascus, and Withville on a Blue Ridge fishing guide. We had that guide some years ago, and it's a little bit out of date, so we have partnered with those folks to bring that up to date. And I'm going to let Chad share a little bit about marketing and some data that we've collected. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Thank you.
I will be brief. So real quick, just to mention some groups that we've had in town here recently. The Appalachian Long Distance Hikers, you could see them in the photo here. They spent some time at the Higher Ed Center, the Cidery, and lots of other places throughout town. And that was just a really great group to have. Prior to them coming here, we had the Yeti Trail Runners, about 300 of those doing 100 miles on the Creeper Trail. If that's what they like to do, that's fantastic, but we love having them here, so they are another wonderful group. The MG Car Club celebrated their 100th anniversary, so if you don't know, the MG cars were originally made, the factory was in Abingdon, England, so this club from North Carolina decided to have their big get-together in Abingdon, Virginia, kind of commemorate them being made overseas. And then we also had the Master Naturalist in town for their rally, and met a lot of them at the Visitor Center, so it was great to have them in town as well. So some recent earned media that we've got that we're very proud of. First up is from Southern Living. In August, they wrote an article, The Best Things to Do in Abingdon, Virginia. So this highlights a lot of our businesses, our restaurants, our outdoor recreation opportunities. Definitely drove a lot of traffic to our website. In September, we were included in 2 more articles. One, 15 Virginia parks where you can catch the best fall foliage, as well as the best places to retire in the South, which got us the accolade, one of the best small towns in the South as well. So that was great features we had. From Country Living, we were named one of the best fall towns to see the foliage. And if you haven't seen it already, PBS did about a 26-minute long video called Hometowns Abingdon, Virginia. So we were surprised to see that come out and very delighted about that as well. And finally, our digital engagement, kind of looking at the past couple of months, we are up. In August, we were up 78% overall in reach for Facebook. I think a lot of that has to do with some new campaigns we're testing and playing with. Our website visitors are still holding very strong, and then we're just kind of keeping that momentum going in September. Facebook and Instagram flip-flopped a little bit, but we like to see that. That just shows different age groups and generations that are checking us out. So, any questions about the data?
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. You're doing a great job promoting our town. Okay, do we have any more communications from the town manager?
Yes, real briefly, Tanya's biggest secret is trick or treat, which is the 28th at
4 to 6:30.
4 to 6:30.
4 to 6:30, and it'll be headquartered out at the Visitor Center. It'll be up and down Main Street. and we'll expect to have a good number of people out there. If you want to give some details, sorry to make you come back up.
So we have 16 vendors. The footprint will be from the police department to the Charles Wesley Church just below Rain. But we offered businesses and organizations who might not be in that footprint a space on the lawn of the visitor center, and we have 16 partners who are going to be on the lawn at the visitor center. So we're very excited about that.
So 16 on the lawn in addition to the businesses on Main Street?
In addition to all of the businesses along Main Street, there's attorney offices now who are participating this year. So it's exciting. So we hope, last year was a record. We were blown away. We had no idea we'd have that many participants, but it was amazing. What we found out this year is lots of other communities are doing it, so we hope that'll hold strong and we'll still have a lot of people in town that day. But the businesses were thrilled with it. They're all excited about it. It's a great way for people to learn about new things in Abingdon because you're walking up and down the street. We're also doing the Festival of Trees again, and we have 22 trees who have been spoken for so far. We have 8 inside the Visitor Center. We've got, we just left, and there's an electrician putting in some electrical outlets on the porch, so we'll be able to have 4 trees on the porch. And then we ordered 8 outdoor trees that are actually 9.5 feet tall. So last year, we could not get outdoor trees, and the live tree supply was limited. So we bought 7.5-foot trees standing in the field that looked really nice. And by the time we got them here and got them in a bucket, and we had to cut 2 feet off of them, and we put them beside a ginormous house, they look like Charlie Brown trees. So very excited this year that we have 9-foot Christmas trees that'll be on the lawn. We're going to expand that program. We're working with United Way and with Washington County Animal Defense League and Happy Tails Rescue. So we're collecting personal hygiene items and pet food. So the personal hygiene items will be given to United Way, and they have a partnership with the Washington County Public School Systems, and they have closets in all the schools so that students that may not have access to personal hygiene items can pick those up. Happy Tails will get all of the dog supplies and the dog food, and Washington County Animal Defense League will get all of the cat supplies. So you will bring your items, you'll go through the Festival of Trees, and then you'll place your donations by your favorite trees.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so thank you, Tanya, I appreciate that. Real quick, I just wanted to mention town staff. So one of the things my goal with the way the town appears is I want the Plum Alley Day every day. And in the last little while, we've been able to reposition some staff and dedicate some staff to adding to the downtown appearance. And I just got to say, it's Mike Surratt and his crew, and they really, really are doing an awesome job out there. It looks great every day, and you hear the street sweeper. We got it fixed so it shouldn't throw up quite as much dust, but it just looks amazing out there. And you wouldn't know that it's fall by looking at, because there's no leaves anywhere, which is just amazing. And so our crew's out there, and they do a great job with it. And then also out at the Meadows, I mean, those guys do just an amazing job maintaining the appearance of everything. The one thing that came up with Historical Preservation Day, I know a couple of y'all were out there. We also have an Adopt-A-Plot program, and I wanted to mention last month, or actually at the beginning of the month, I forgot to mention the Abington Bible Church. I have been contacted by Ms. Quetch about a volunteer program. They had their outreach folks, and they went out and did a phenomenal job at the Sinking Spring Cemetery as a youth outreach. And so with part of that, though, is we have an Adopt-A-Plot program, and Maya had gone over quite a bit of that, but it's really neat is because it'll allow these groups, and that was a big topic of discussion at the Historical Preservation Day, as far as allowing groups to adopt family plots. And so there's a whole process for that. In the interest of saving trees, I didn't print more than one copy, but there's a huge section online if anybody's interested. It's just a good way, especially if you're trying to teach community service stuff to your kids. It's a good thing for them. So anyway, it was that, and then a monthly. Yeah, correct. Yeah. So yeah, as you know, we have a lot of stuff that we maintain. We maintain well over 200 acres of grass and all. So our staff does they hit the low hanging fruit. Or they hit the wide open stuff. And then the idea is that a couple times a year, they can go in and do the fine detail, but the adopted plot will help supplement that and really make it look amazing. My monthly report will be posted online by the end of today. You have it in front of you. And then sorry, I made a couple notes here. I'm just trying to read through them. My handwriting is worse than ever. Yeah, so and that one item that came up earlier, I'll reach out for DEQ and get them to take a look at that. I know they monitor that stuff. I spoke to them last week on something else, so we'll get that taken care of. That's everything? Yep, and that's everything I have. I appreciate everything. Thanks.
Okay, do we have any council member reports today?
Yes, I would like to just, you stole some of my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
But that's okay, it's okay. I want to point out some of the infrastructure that's going on around town too. The beautiful new sidewalks on Valley Street, on Main Street. We have additional brick on Valley Street, less concrete. There's also a trestle repair work going on. There's a tree giveaway in November. And then the rest was what he's already said.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm glad you did. You did it better than I could have. Thank you.
The only thing.
But I just do want to say thank you to Public Works. And, you know, your work does not go unnoticed. You know, we probably receive more compliments than you do, but it does not go unnoticed. Thank you for your hard work.
I just have one thing to touch on. I'm on the board with the Historic Preservation, and the meeting last Thursday went very well. I think Mayana and everyone with her crew, Martha Washington and everybody done a great job with that. I was really impressed with that.
I would reiterate what Ms. Quetch said. Most of the time, I know we field problems or complaint questions, and the other day I received a call concerning some grass and other things that had been put out curbside. A lady told me, said, I don't know how this works, but I know more than put it out curbside until it was picked up. And, that was very nice to hear, and so I know that that's the case. Vice Mayor Anderson and I are on the Veterans Committee. We had both of us met with them on this past Monday. They're planning a Veterans Day on Saturday. They will have a fantastic program at that time. They want to invite everyone out to that event on Veterans Day in November, Saturday. And they are also, and I'll make mention of this, they will bring plans, I know, to the town council to look at, but they are planning a memorial wall in the Veterans Park, and they're very excited about that. They have some preliminary plans and that sort of thing that they presented at the meeting the other night, but there'll be more on that to come.
One last thing.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention, and most of y'all have called me on this, Country Club Drive, we had several complaints about tractor trailers coming down and going down Country Club Drive and getting stuck. Because if you didn't quite know where you were going, that was where the on-ramp used to be. And so we had a lot of people going down there getting stuck and hitting signs and turning around people's yards and stuff like that. So anyway, I sent a picture out to some of you the other day. So the DOT, they did fix it. And so now if you're coming from out by the lake, you're coming into town, they put the sign so the tractor trailers, it's readily evident where the on-ramp is now. So hopefully that will address that for some of the folks that live back there. But when we do it, the thing is, like, we coordinate with DOT. That's not our project, so they're very responsive. So we have a couple of our own signs. We have a temporary sign up there right now that says no outlet, but we're putting up one in case they miss the main signs, they'll see it and hopefully not drive down there. But I think they'll stick with it. It's already been updated on the GPS and so forth, so that's done.
Awesome. The only thing I have is I have lots of thank you notes to write concerning the Day of Service, which happened Saturday. And we did not have the greatest weather for the event, but we got lots of things done. And just off the top of my head, They painted some classrooms inside at the high school. It's been hard for them to get painters there, so we painted some classrooms. At E.B. Stanley Middle School, they were able to power wash and do some yard work and to scrape down the gaga pits, which can be painted later. There was a group that tore out the overgrowth and the out-of-date stuff from the garden at Ecumenical Faith in Action. A large group of students came on a school bus from Wallace Middle School, and they went and did projects at Valley Institute and at High Point Elementary. We had a large contingent from Boy Scout Troop 222, and they went to the 4-H Center, and they painted, and I've never seen, I don't know if there was as much paint on the ceilings as there was on the boys, but they worked really hard, and they had a lot of fun. So that was pretty cool. And then the town manager and a few other people were at the at People Inc. And when I showed up, he was on a ladder power washing some school buses. So they got some yard work done, and they got the Head Start buses washed. And then we counted some walkers. I'm trying not to forget anything. We counted the walkers on the urban pathway at the Arts Depot. And then also Breaking Bread is a program that the Sinking Springs Presbyterian Church does. Every Friday they give meals to anybody in need. Anybody who wants a meal can get a meal. And so we had people go and serve. So they did meals on Saturdays also, and then meals for all of our volunteers. And I would think we probably had around 100 participants. So we also had the kids write thank you notes to first responders and healthcare workers, and we've been handing those out. And we left the Coombs Center some coloring sheets so our after-school program kids could color some thank you sheets, and I'm going to pick those up and distribute those too. There are still donation bins at the Coombs Center for clothing and hygiene items, and all of our schools are collecting those things too. So hopefully we can make a difference, and this program can be even bigger next year, and we'll pick a Saturday on which it does not rain. But it was a success, especially for the amount of planning, the short time, and for it to be our first endeavor. I think it was successful. So thank you to our town staff who was so helpful, and to everybody else in the community who came out to help. And I think that's all we have except for our closed session. So who would like to read us into closed session? Would you like to read us into closed session, Dwayne, or do you want me to do it? Okay. Right here. What I added. Okay, so we're going to go into closed session. And we're going to entertain a motion for closed session under item Q, closed session, to consider applications for appointments to the Infrastructure Advisory Committee pursuant to the Code of Virginia 1950 as amended, section 2.2-3711A1. So do we have a motion to do so?
I'd make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Quetch, second by Mr. Austin, and we will go into closed session.
I vote.
Oh, we need to vote. Sorry, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
And Mayor Pillion?
Aye.
Those are cold.
Here, Kelly, we're ready.
I move to reconvene in open session.
We have a second?
Second.
Motion to reconvene in open session by Ms. Quetch, second by Mr. Austin. Do we have any discussion? Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson? And Mayor Pilion?
Aye.
I move that the town council certify that in closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matter or matters specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act cited in the motion.
Mr. Austin? Do you
I
s-
so certify.
Ms. Quetch?
I so certify.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Also certified.
And Mayor Pilion?
I so certify. Okay, do we have a motion to appoint to boards and commissions?
Yes, I would move that we appoint Odie Dudley to the Infrastructure Committee.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
So a motion by Ms. Quetch, a second by Vice Mayor Anderson. Do we have any discussion? If there's no discussion, Kim, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Austin?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Anderson?
Aye.
And Mayor Pilion?
Aye. Okay, that concludes our business. I will now adjourn our meeting.
Thank you.
Oh,